Hello everybody, David Guerra here. Welcome back. It is Thursday, and you know what that means? That's right, it's time for hashtag Training Thursday, and we're going to continue with the professional, personal etiquette in the workplace, and this time we're going to talk a little bit something different. We're going to talk about international business etiquette. You know, the internet, and since the internet has evolved and become what it is now, the world has become so much smaller. We're now dealing with people in Europe, dealing with people in Asia, dealing with people in Australia, South America, Africa is just commonplace. And doing that, it fosters growth, it fosters expansion of ideas and exchanges of ideas and ways of being and ways of doing things and ways of working and obviously ways of making money. And that's fine when you're dealing strictly over the internet and you're not traveling anywhere. However, there's going to be those occasions when you are going to either have to visit a foreign country or someone from a foreign country is going to come to visit you because of business matters. Now, understand that there are different rules of etiquette. There are different cultures, just as there are different customs in other countries. And those individuals, unfortunately, are going to bring them with them, just like you're going to take yours to their country. Now, being respectful of the fact that you're in a foreign country, well, you know what? That's going to say a lot about you, your integrity, your business, your mind, your business mindset, and what you're doing and what you're bringing to the table for that organization you're dealing with. And by the same token, somebody that travels here should understand and expect that, hey, we have different rules of etiquette, different ways of believing, we're a different culture than any other country in the world. Now, that doesn't mean that they should only, do it as we do here in the United States. No, it just means that, hey, if they go out of their way to respect our customs and our standards and our etiquette and our rules and custom and our culture, then why don't we do the same for them? Especially when they come over here to the United States. It doesn't hurt. Be respectful. Be mindful. Now, knowing the language makes an excellent impression on people when you're doing business with them. Now, barely knowing the language, but feigning fluency, well, could it really do a lot of harm than good? Now, reason I say this is because if you go out of your way to at least say hello, good morning, good day, yes, no, and thank you, that says a lot because you went out of your way to learn that language and learn just those basic words. But when you say, oh, well, yeah, because I know 10 words, that means I know how to have the entire conversation. No. It doesn't mean that. And when you do that, that's where the problems begin. Because again, well, they don't know what to think about you. Is it like, well, you're trying and you're in over your head and you really shouldn't be there? Or are you just that disrespectful of them that you don't care about them? So be careful. Know what you know and just tell them flat out. I know a little, just enough to say thank you. And if you think you know a little bit more, then just say it's enough to get you in trouble. It really is that simple. Next. Be mindful of time zones. The world is 24 time zones. I think it's got like one or two more, but there are at least 24 of them. Why? Because the earth is round and the sun is at different places at different times of the day. 12 o'clock here in Texas is going to be, 6 hours ahead. It's going to be 6 p.m. in London, England. So when you're reaching out to make those phone calls, understand that there is a time difference. If you're calling from here to Japan, well, it's a huge time difference. It's tomorrow. So be careful when you're calling and how you're calling. Be aware, be cognizant of the time of day that it is. But also be aware of the work hours. Now, some places shut down in the middle of the day a little bit longer than they do here in the United States. Typically, we shut down from 12 to 1, go get our lunch, and come right back to work, get it at 1. In some European countries, it's normal for them to shut down until about 2 or 3. Take those longer lunches. It happens. Be aware of that. Be cognizant and be aware of who you're dealing with and what their local customs are, especially when you're doing conference calls and video calls and Skyping. Now, speaking of times, let's also be aware of the dates. Every country all over has its own unique holidays. Some places even have banking holidays, and they shut down all operations. Not just the bank shut down, all operations shut down. So be aware that when you want to schedule something, make sure ask them. Don't be afraid to ask, oh, well, how does Monday the 30th sound to you? And it's like, well, yeah, it's okay. But, in some country, it might just be a national holiday. May Day, the first day in May, typically is one of those days around the world that's it's recognized as a holiday. So be aware of that. Be aware of same thing. Those holidays in the United States that usually last a day or two might go a little bit longer in other countries. This is especially so when it comes to religious holidays, where a certain religion is a predominant religion in that country. Things might just run on that schedule. So be aware of that. Now, you're traveling and you're there. By all means, please dive into the local culture, local environment. Just go out. Stay away from McDonald's. I guarantee you're going to find a McDonald's in some of the most weirdest, craziest places in the world. But you know what? They love their McDonald's too. So don't be afraid, but stay away from McDonald's. Don't be afraid to venture out into some local bar, some local pub, some local restaurant, some local guest house or something. Just do not go into the old Burger King, McDonald's, Kentucky Fried Chicken, Pizza Hut, because they're out there. They're out there. Heck, I even saw that Singapore has a Tony Roma's, or there's a Tony Roma's rib place in Singapore. Now, who would travel all the way to Singapore just to eat at Tony Roma's? Now, that's not to say that the people from Singapore like Tony Roma's or want Tony Roma's and that's wrong. No, I'm not saying that. That's for them. You have Tony Roma's at home. Why do you want to go that far to get another Tony Roma's meal? Get out there into the marketplaces. Do enjoy the local food. Do enjoy the local cuisine. To them, Tony Roma's is exotic food. But to you, it's everyday food. Think about it. It goes in reverse. Same thing with like vehicles. Don't be surprised if you find yourself in Germany and you're hailing a taxi that you're riding in the back seat of a BMW or a Mercedes-Benz. Folks, I'm here to tell you, in Germany, Mercedes-Benz BMWs are just as common as Fords and Chevy are here in the United States. It's true. I know this. That's it. So don't be surprised. Now, when it comes to dining, be aware that while people will understand you're an American and you eat a certain way, be aware that there's certain customs to eating. So look at everybody else, see how they're eating their food, and then proceed. Or ask somebody, ask for help. It does not hurt, doesn't make you look bad, does not make you look ignorant. It makes you look like somebody that wants to be part of what they've got going on. But if you throw caution to the wind, you said, you know what, I'm just going to do it the American way, and you're in some foreign country, then guess what? That makes you look like the ugly American. And I've seen that happen, and that's terrible. Once you're marked as the ugly American, it's hard to get rid of it. So folks, dive right in, ask for help. Ask them, how is this eaten? What's the process? What should be eaten first? What is the local customs and tradition? Don't be afraid to ask. Now, it's all about doing your homework. So if you know you're going to go someplace or you know you're going to be hosting somebody here, do your homework, because a little homework goes a long way, especially when someone sees that you're trying and you really want to be part of what's going on. It could mean a difference between a huge multi-million-dollar deal or sent home packing wondering what went wrong. Listen, folks, my name's Dave Guerra. This has been #Training Thursday. Until next week, I wish you a very good week.